Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage with a big round of applause for Pastor Ricky Temple from Overcoming by Faith Ministries.
We are all here today for a great cause. We're here today for just a moment to pause and think about how wonderful it is to be united, to be committed to a common cause. Why don't we act like a rowdy crew and just all clap our hands like we're united together? Why don't we all do that together? Let me offer an inspirational prayer, can I? I pray for our city, I pray for our community, I pray for our nation. I pray for the cause that this group represents today, united together to make a difference in the world, to help those who have little, to help those who need our help. We pool our resources together, we pool our money together, we pool our time together. We are a team banded together to make a difference. It is our commitment to always be different. It's our commitment to stand out, and it's our commitment to give. May we leave today with a stronger passion and a stronger determination to make a difference in this community, because this is our community. These are our people, our family, our friends, and we must give back. And can we all give a big hand to that and say that's amen? Amen? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Ricky Temple of Overcoming by Faith Ministries. Next to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to Kim Gusby of WSAV TV.
Wow, Mia, thank you. What a voice. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, come on, it's a celebration. You can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, that's more like it. Can you please rise as we say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as Tanya Jackson from Brandon Hearts Church sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were glad, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
voice. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much. Incredible. And speaking of incredible, I am thrilled to introduce to you a woman who is also incredible because she continues to break glass ceilings. And that is United Way of the Coastal Empire's President and CEO, Deb Thompson. Following a national search with an impressive slate of 140 candidates, Deb was appointed to lead this 80-year-old organization. She also made history by becoming the agency's first female president, and that in itself deserves a round of applause. But Deb is used to breaking down barriers. Previously, Deb was the vice president and general manager of WSAV, another female first. Can we get a round of applause for that? For 12 years, 7 of those as GM, the other 5 as general sales manager, we were honored to have Deb on our side. As GM, Deb was passionate about WSAV's role in community service. She expanded WSAV's Identity Safe Recycling Day, a free document shredding and computer disposal event, from Savannah to 3 other city locations, Beaufort, Bluffton, and Statesboro. She grew WSAV's Holiday Hope Toy Drive to its greatest collection numbers in its 20-year history. During Hurricane Matthew, she spearheaded the WSAV Recovery Center, a Facebook page built to help connect people who needed help with those who could give help. This initiative was honored with an Edward R. Murrow Award for social media. She also developed new ways that WSAV could support the United Way, holding the WSAV United Way garage sale to help raise more than, get this, $10,000 for the campaign in 2015. You can clap. These are just a few of the dozens of creative community support projects that Deb was proud to put the power of WSAV behind during her tenure at the station. Under Deb's leadership, WSAV was honored by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters not once, but twice, as Community Service Station of the Year. Thank you. Now, she is in a place where she can work towards a greater good. Deb brings with her 3 decades of experience in organizational leadership, team building, marketing, business development, and digital strategy. I'd be here all day if I had to list every single accomplishment, so I'll leave that up to you to read her impressive bio for yourselves on the United Way's website. But here's what I really want you to know about Deb Thompson. Deb is a champion of our community. Since she arrived in Savannah 13 years ago in 2005, she has worked tirelessly to make a personal impact on the lives of others. She helped raise funds to provide low-income women with dependable transportation to get to job interviews, family doctor appointments, and their GED or college courses through Women United. Most recently, as Chief Business Development Officer with Senior Citizens, Inc., she advocated for the heart and soul of our community, our local senior citizens, providing them with assistance to live independently and age successfully. People who know Deb will tell you that the only thing bigger than her heart are her dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to give an enthusiastic welcome to the United Way of the Coastal Empire's President and CEO, Deb Thompson.
Trust, hope, belief,
expectations, aspirations. What do all of these words have in common? They're all the words that we use to describe our vision for this community. And what about go, do, share, connect, give? What do those words have in common? Those are the action words. Those are the words that are going to be needed to be used and put in play for us to achieve our vision of empowering everyone in our community to have the opportunities, the resources, and the tools they need to have their very best life. Making this a reality is going to take a whole lot more than hopes and dreams. It's going to take action. Wayne Huizenga once said, "Some people dream of success, but others get up every morning and make it happen." And I am honored to be in a room surrounded by people that make it happen. Thank you. You really are the some people that Mr. Huizenga was describing. Your time and resources that you took out of your busy lives to be here today is proof of that. You're the kind of people that get up every morning and get busy to make it happen. You're the difference makers. You're the catalysts. We have some people in the room today who work every day, every one of their working hours, and many, many of their personal nights and weekends to serve others. Those are the people in our nonprofits. If you are working in a nonprofit, would you please allow us to honor you by standing? Look at all of these people. These are the change makers. There are also a lot of you in this room that make the work that these nonprofits do possible through your leadership and your faithful giving. Many of you have participated in a United Way campaign for decades. There are people in this room that have led or participated for more than 20 years. If you are one of those people, please stand up and let us recognize you. These are the people that make what the nonprofits do each day possible. In our time-pressured world, taking an hour or two to come here today is a big sacrifice, and we appreciate it. But there are a few people in this room, very special, 64 people actually, that took more than just a couple of hours. Would our Liberty County delegation please stand up? Woo! To represent the thousands of faithful donors in Liberty County. We are grateful for you. So you see, there is a room full of people here today that are willing to do a lot more than dream of success. And that's a good thing, because 10 weeks from now, just 70 days, we're going to be gathering again, but this time we're going to be gathering to celebrate. We're going to be celebrating the successful achievement of our fundraising goal. And we're going to have the satisfaction of knowing that by reaching that goal, that we are enabling the life-changing work of our nonprofit agencies. But before we can celebrate, there is some work to be done. Fortunately, we have all the right people in the room. Well, We have a lot of the right people. There's about 1,000 of you here today, but we need more. Many hands make light work, so we need more people like you. So, here's my challenge for you. Over the next 10 weeks, I want you to light a fire of inspiration and action. I want you to be our raving fan, passionate in your commitment to our shared belief. I want you to engage your friends and your coworkers, and I want you to encourage them to join you in giving. If each one of you, I did the math, if each one of you would obtain a commitment from just 7 people a week to give any amount, 7 people a week for the next 10 weeks, we would blow out our goal. I'm not telling you what the goal is yet, but we would blow by our goal. Just 7 people a week, every week for 10 weeks. That's all we need. And we can make our vision a reality. So together, we can far exceed any goal. But it takes working together. So what do you think? Are you with me? Are you with me? Come on, guys. I can hear you. Come on. Are you with me? Okay. And let's start right now. Let's start. Like no time like the present. Get your cameras out. Take a selfie of yourself and your table mates, and share with the world that you are a raving fan for our united commitment.
The audiologist came back in the room and told us she is profoundly deaf. My heart was broken. I just knew that she was deaf and she couldn't hear anything.
We didn't know how we were going to communicate. We didn't know, what to do, but if there was a solution for the problem.
That she would never get to hear my voice, hear our voices.
She came to us with about 10 words, maybe.
What a big girl you are.
Those that are profoundly deaf get an implant called a cochlear implant.
Red, you're so smart.
But in that, there's a language gap. And we work really hard to get the language where it needs to be in a 4 to 5 year time period. It is the goal of SoundStart to equip them and make them successful in a hearing environment. Things like A, B, C sound so close, or your numbers 13, 14, 15. So many of those things are a challenge for our kids, and when you put our children in a mainstream or regular ed environment, they have to work harder than the other kids, their hearing peers.
She talks just as normal as any hearing 3-year-old would.
Yeah.
And we owe it all to that program.
Whenever we had Caroline and she was deaf, we're like, how are we going to, what do we do? Well, I've never even heard of cochlear implants before this, and just to know that, in a way it's not already thought of, but they provided a way, just is so, so amazing.
He just likes, the animals. He loves to take care of animals. They've taken him under his wing. They really enjoy working with him. He enjoys them. He keeps them entertained. He cleans the stalls. He waters the horses. He pretty much helps Mr. John, and they have a good working rapport, and he just loves it. And they've been wonderful with him. He's learned so much. He's overcoming fears that he has, and they're working with him. If it wasn't for the funds that Faith gets from United Way, it wouldn't be possible. He's more willing to take part and be a part of the family and have his own responsibilities, which he didn't have before. He would just stay in his room. oh, you're gonna make a friend. I don't think he'd be anywhere. I mean, if it wasn't for faith and the United Way, he wouldn't have the opportunities that he has now to have a job, you know, to learn the skills, you know. If it wasn't for the United Way, you know, contributing, I wouldn't know where he would be, to be honest. It helps children with disabilities to meet their goals, you know, and be a part of life. My hope for him in the future would be to be stable. If anything should happen to me or my husband, he can continue on. And, you know, I hope United Way would always be there, you know.
All for one and one for all. Your contribution to the United Way means that individuals, ones like Caroline and Matthew, will get the help they need to live their best lives. Bringing together all of the resources of the entire community means that the United Way is the one organization that can effectively address problems and improve lives. All for one, one for all. Live united, give united.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Don Baker of WTOC.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to the Creech and Redhead families for sharing their remarkable stories. And they are here with us, a testament of the hard work of the United Way does every single day. Please, if these families would stand up, I think they're over here right to my right, we'd like to recognize you. There they are. Thank you all so much for being here. As you've seen with Caroline and Matthew, the United Way and its agencies work in countless ways every single day to transform barriers into opportunities. But we are also in the forefront when the needs are community-wide. Something we've seen a lot of in recent years with Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Irma. Joining us today are 3 local experts and community leaders who can testify that no matter the amount of devastation, the size of the problem, or the lack of resources, United Way is committed to tackling the immediate needs head-on to keep our community safe and moving forward. Please welcome Major Paul Egan of the Salvation Army, Patty Lyons of Senior Citizens Incorporated, as well as Mayor Jason Bilgerman of Tybee Island. Thank you all so much for agreeing to share with us today.
It's a pleasure.
I certainly appreciate your time. Major, let's take us through the Salvation Army and what happened there during Hurricane Matthew and Irma.
Well, I was actually not living in this area at the time, but I followed it closely. My mother lives up in Beaufort, so it was very important for us during that time personally. But the Salvation Army is always going to be at the ready for these kind of instances. Like all of the great United Way agencies, we're day in, day out helping folks and making a difference. But when it comes time for something like Hurricane Matthew or Hurricane Irma, it's time for us to live united, and that's the difference it's made.
Well, we certainly remember seeing you all with the shelters here in town, but I don't think many people realize that you also were a part of the transportation, getting those out who needed a ride.
We did. We helped out with folks going up to Augusta that did not have transportation, and then the opportunity for them to come back. We were part of that, and the United Way was such a critical part of helping to coordinate all those efforts. And then the 26,000 meals that we served during that time, and the 80,000 snacks, it goes on and on.
Any personal stories that you can remember of that anyone shared with you from that time?
Well, you know,
they just won't forget.
In kind of preparation for this, I mean, people, it just embeds in their mind. I was watching some coverage, news coverage of what was going on, and Dawn, I heard you say in one of these, it just blew me away. I had to write it down this morning. We're not leaving you, you told your viewers. We're going to be with you until the storm is out. of our viewing area, and so you're not alone. And I thought, no wonder the United Way picked you to come up and to do this. My goodness, it's just what the United Way does. They are here. They're not going to leave the community alone. It's beautiful to see.
Well, thank you so much. It's always our honor to be here from the beginning to the end, and that is a big, awesome responsibility that we have that none of us here take for granted. Also, Patty Lyons with the Senior Citizens. What were some of the needs of the seniors in our community?
Golly, well, you know, Dawn, we're a part of thousands of lives, older adults, and so we take hurricanes very seriously because it takes longer for some of our folks to get out of town. So we always begin by distributing shelf-stable meals to all of our meal clients so they have at least 3 meals to take with them when they evacuate. And when we know that a hurricane is coming, when we saw that Matthew was going to hit our shores, we called all of our clients, made sure that they had a way out, that we had been working with them to have those plans in place. But of course, it's always different when it's a reality. Right. And I will never forget driving around town, frantically calling United Way's 211 going, do you know of any pet carriers that I can get to? We had volunteers that just put off their own departure to help us get our seniors out, helping them pack, helping them move furniture in, driving them to the transportation that could take them out, and that is truly where our community shines.
It certainly is. We live in one of the blessed places in America, the coastal empire, low country. Nobody can beat the generosity in our area.
So true.
I also wanted to ask you about, we were talking a little bit earlier about one of the cases of one of the seniors who wasn't registered with you all, who you were able to really make a difference in that person's life.
You know, after Hurricane Irma, we got a phone call from a neighbor of a 95-year-old woman whose family left her when they evacuated. And she didn't have electricity, and the neighbor was worried. She knew she didn't have food, and so we immediately went in. We assessed the situation. We were able to stock her pantry thanks to working with America's Second Harvest. We had United Way volunteers coming in, rebuilding her wheelchair ramp. And because of the campaign that we are kicking off today, I'm proud to say that we are in her life. We are giving her meals every day through our program. We have an aide in her home, and our care navigators worked with Adult Protective Services to remind her family that in this community, it is not an option to neglect or abuse an older adult.
Wow.
And that is the power of the United Way.
That's so impressive. Thank you so much for what you all do every single day. But I do know that there are a lot of people here today who may know some older people who may not be connected with your organization yet. What do they need to do to make sure that these people are on your radar? Because we are in the middle of hurricane season. We've got a hurricane out there in the Atlantic right now, and according to well, they just disappeared on me. Isn't that funny? The meteorologists are not sitting at the table right this second, but they're saying that that storm can do just about anything right now.
You know, it's really important, particularly for older adults, there are resources in this community to help people who are frail to get out of town. And really, we encourage anyone that can get on our website. We've got some material that you can download about how to be prepared, the kits you can have ready, so that we aren't driving around looking for pet carriers at the last minute.
Right.
But it's important to be prepared. If anything, this past year, 2 hurricanes and a snowstorm, who'd have thought in Savannah?
That's a lot.
So we need to be prepared.
All right, thank you so much.
And a tornado.
And a tornado.
That's right, and it's true that people are still recovering from. Mayor, Bilgerman, Tybee Island, as we know, is so vulnerable. It's every day, but especially during hurricane season. And we certainly were frightened to see what happened with the storm surge there during Hurricane Irma last year.
Yeah, it was scary. And having it happen 2 years in a row was pretty devastating to a lot of people. We have a lot of folks on the backside of our island who live in houses that were built before the flood maps were adopted, so they're ground level homes. And they, some of those people experienced flooding twice in 11 months. Right. So and I think there's a common perception that if you live at Tybee, you're very well off and you can afford to recover from that type of thing. And that's not the case. We have a lot of working class folks on Tybee, and they had a hard time recovering from Matthew and Irma. Irma had worse flooding than Matthew did, which not a lot of people know that. But it was devastating. If you've ever, I've been lucky, I've never had water in my house, but if you've ever had water in your home, you know just how bad that can be. And United Way really, truly stepped up to the plate. Greg and his team stepped up, helped us out. They brought like 121 volunteers on 2 Saturdays, came out and helped folks whose insurance companies were a little slow to respond to the issue by coming out and cleaning up, picking up. I mean, there were United Way volunteers in people's homes, ripping up carpet, you know, drywall, all that stuff. Just really, it was amazing to walk down Lewis Avenue, which was the street that was most affected, and see this team of volunteers out to help people out. It was heartwarming, and we really, really appreciate everything y'all did.
Well, is there anyone or any family that you can remember? I know that we've all captured the images of those families with their losing, some of them everything, some a lot of their belongings. Is there a family that sticks out with you who lives on Tybee, who you just won't forget the experience they had these last 2 hurricane seasons?
Sure. Yeah, there was one, I won't mention her name, but one lady who's elderly. She lives by herself. Struggled to get her insurance money from Matthew, and then Irma hit without her being able to take care of what she needed to from Matthew. And she was, I remember that one specifically because I can recall volunteers that were organized by United Way coming in and just spending hours, not an hour, not 2 hours, but like 7 or 8 hours over the course of a couple of days, helping her get situated so she wasn't staying in a dangerous situation. She spent the night at her home, but because it was cleaned out, you know, she could at least live there safely without getting sick.
Wow. Well, Patty, just tell us about the United Way's role with some of the seniors that you all take care of every day after these storms.
Golly, it's after where our community really shows what we're made of. And, you know, we all had 211 on our speed dial. As people would call us and say, I need help, we would call United Way. What businesses are available? What agencies are now open? How do we make it possible for people to return to their home? And I have to say a special shout out for the United Way's Emergency Fund. As I mentioned, we always distribute shelf-stable meals. Now, we bank on a worst-case scenario of 2 storms, but to have 3 hit us so quickly, we could not have kept it going without United Way's help. They got us gift cards so that we could replace things that were lost in the storms. It just, you know, it made me so proud to be a part of this community, not just as senior citizens, but, you know, to see how we came together. And that is why I'm very proud to be a donor, and I'm very proud to work at an agency that receives funding from this campaign.
We know the United Way is there in times of hurricanes, but we had another big disaster many, many years ago. Was that like 2008? Yes, with the sugar refinery explosion. Major Egan, could you kind of talk about the role of the Salvation Army and the United Way during that time?
Well, certainly. I mean, the help that we have in the United Way is I went and talked to my team about what goes on there. They keep coming up with the same names of the people that I've met over the United Way. Jen, Pfeffer, the other ones that came out, and to make these things possible, connecting us with the Red Cross, connecting us with who were already there doing a fantastic job, connecting us with Second Harvest and other United Way agencies to make it possible for us to serve 20-something thousand meals for another 100,000 in drinks just over the months and months that led after that we were able to serve during that time. It's the community coming together, living united, that just makes it so wonderful to be a part of that conduit of the community's love to the people that are in need.
That is absolutely beautiful. Well, we're about out of time. And you all are just amazing, rock stars every single day with what all you do every day for our citizens, not just during times of crisis. I want to thank you all again, Mayor Bilterman, Mrs. Lyons, Major Egan, for being here and sharing your stories, and of course, being a wonderful supporter of the United Way. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome to the stage Shannon Royster with WJCL.
Thank you so very much. I'm so very honored to be here today. What's so very powerful about the United Way is that it puts its money where its mouth is. And we see that exemplified with what the what the community panel just shared. We also see it with United Way, reaching past the immediate Savannah area to serve the coastal empire as a whole. For example, in Effingham County, United Way provided $50 Kroger gift cards to 50 Effingham residents who were elderly and or had a disability. The cards replenished the food loss due to the power loss. In addition to giving away 50 disaster cards, United Way in Bryan County distributed over 11,000 pounds of meat through food pantries and mobile food drops. And in Liberty County, United Way helped more than 1,000 people with food assistance, gas cards, emergency lodging, utility and rental assistance. Of the total number of people helped, half were active duty or retired military. So as you can see, United Way serves us all as one, all for one.
WTOC, this is Larry.
Hi Larry, it's Deb over at United Way. Do you have a minute?
Sure.
I've got good news. The board of directors has selected you as the 2018 campaign chair.
Deb, I'm overwhelmed.
There's just one thing, Larry. When WTOC was involved a few years ago, we had a parade of costume chairmen. Bert was the man of steel, Dale was running around the racetrack, and then we had Wonder Woman Jenny, and next, Camille and Sam swinging from the Civic Center rafters. Now, Larry, those were very successful campaigns, and they were a lot of fun. But the board feels that we should move forward in a less flamboyant direction this year.
Deb, I could not agree more. We have a big, serious job ahead of us. And I get it, no costumes this year. What should I wear?
Oh, you know, just whatever you would wear to the office every day will be fine.
All for one and one for all.
Well, you know, Shannon, everyone needs a blue power suit.
Well, Larry, is the sword really necessary?
Well, we know the pen is mightier than the sword, but these days I'm not taking any chances. Thank you, Shannon. And I'd also like to thank WJCL General Manager Jim Morrissey and the fine folks there at the WJCL table. And I'd also like to thank Tim Gusby, the Mark Huffner, General Manager of WSAB, and the fine folks at the WSAB table. Of course, our great WTOC team and Don Baker sitting in front of me. You know, we compete daily in the television landscape, but when it comes to United Way, we're all for one, and it really shows. I also want to thank the superheroes that escorted me in. They, without hesitation, were willing to suit up on a hot August afternoon and help escort me in, proving that once a superhero, always a superhero. I must thank Faith Equestrian, a great United Way funded agency, for providing me with Slick, my trusty steed. And I can't forget Greg Parker and the Parker Company, who generously donated the 3 Musketeer bars that were passed out as we were walking in. I must thank my wife Sally, who's sitting over there. Without her support and encouragement, there's no way I'd be able to stand up here today and take on the challenge of leading this campaign. Sally and I have this little running gag that whenever I'm recognized for one of my editorials, and the person says hello and then they walk away, I'll look at her with the tongue firmly planted in my cheek and say, I'm kind of a big deal. But the reality is she's the big deal, and more importantly, she's the real deal. And I need a shout out to my daughter Hattie, who's sitting there, who at age 9 still thinks I am a big deal, so hopefully that will last for a while. And a couple, one of my campaign cabinet who's sitting all over here to the left, they do all the legwork for this campaign. We wouldn't be successful without them, and I appreciate all of them stepping up to take on the challenge. No doubt. Even those who are voluntold. Finally, I want to thank Jamie Earl and Cutter Martin and David Turley, who helped me pass out the candy bars. And David's going to join me up here. You'll recall last year at the kickoff campaign, literally as the campaign chair Todd Salini was taking the stage, there was an evacuation order for Hurricane Irma. So what no better way to start a campaign with, get united, now hurry up and get out of here and flee for your safety. So I brought a little backup with me. We know Florence is kind of floating out there, but I was able to kind of calm affairs for us today.
I'll do my best. Looking at that, I know we're all worried about what's going on in the tropics this time of the year. This is the peak of the hurricane season. Thankfully, as we're watching Florence, newer computer model data is suggesting maybe a little more of a turn, keeping it out into the Atlantic, but I want to stress it's too early to tell exactly what's going to happen with this. Even if Florence isn't a threat, there's also a couple of threats behind this. So this is the time of the year that we all need to be prepared and just keep an eye on what's going on with the tropics out there. Of course, WTOC will have the latest for you and all the updated information. We got our First Alert weather app. It's a great tool to have to keep updated on that information.
You know, despite Irma's impact on our area, and nothing really shows how important United Way is to a community that a disaster like Irma, but despite that, this campaign last year not only met its goal, but exceeded it. And that's because this community, unlike most, really understands the concept of all for one and one for all, and lives it daily. So give yourself all a round of applause for that. Almost immediately after agreeing to become the campaign chair, I walked down to Craig Harney's office. He's a special project manager for us at WTOC. He's also the marketing chair. And I said, Craig, I want the theme of this year's campaign to be all for one. I wanted the campaign to be about the Three Musketeers, not because of the costume. Well, okay, not just because of the costume, but because I believe the Three Musketeers really embody what the United Way stands for. Life is not perfect. We see that daily. We never know when we're going to need someone to come to our rescue. Be it the family of a sweet little girl with a hearing disability, or a young man with Down syndrome trying to find his place out in the world, or any one of us in this room who could become the victim of a disaster when we least expect it. That's where we become all for one, and that's why we need to live united. Of the three Musketeers, I most identify with Aramis. Not because he's rugged, handsome, and romantic. Okay, not just because he's handsome, rugged, and romantic. I identify him because when faced with a challenge, Aramis replies, "It's a difficult task, but the merit of all things is in their difficulty." Achieving a campaign goal is monumentally difficult, but one with immense merits that change lives, sometimes in ways we cannot understand. Several weeks ago, I had the opportunity to meet up with Carolyn and Matthew at Hall Park. We needed to shoot the commercial that's running on WTOC for the United Way. While both of them were a bit shy by nature and maybe even a little bit more reserved because of their challenges, they were both very comfortable as we shot the commercial. And off on the side, I could see the faces and the smiles of their mothers off to the side. Because those moments, the moments of Caroline and Matthew, just being themselves, was only possible because of the United Way. Look around this room, particularly at the tables where one of our 58 United Way funded agencies are seated. You'll see a similar smile anytime anyone asks them what they do. They, in the spirit for all for one, make lives better. They make families better, and they make our community better, one for all. As I've spoken at various events and businesses these past several weeks, I've tried to impart two very simple messages. First, it is critical that we are all for one because you never know when you're going to be the one. As many of you heard me say before, quoting Dr. Stephen Covey, everyone is ultimately the one. And number two, we must never end our conversation without making the ask. So today, I'm asking you to please give united. Now that the campaign has started, our sponsored associates are ready to hit the ground running. They are the foot soldiers of this campaign, giving presentations, answering questions, and keeping everything organized. Dr. Joe Buck from JVK Associates is the chair of our sponsored associate program. Joe, please join me to highlight the sponsors this year.
Good afternoon. Each year, United Way asks companies in our area to give back above and beyond. They're asked to sponsor one of their own employees or another citizen to help with the campaign. As you heard Larry say, these are the foot soldiers of the campaign. This year, I am proud to announce that we have 7 companies and organizations that have lent us their best and their brightest. I'm going to ask them to stand as I call their names. And again, this year, they're the hardest working people on the campaign, and we put them in the dark. Carolyn Abbott, Jenkins Trust Fund. Malaysia Armstrong, Jenkins Trust Fund. Connie Busco, Georgia Power. Rome Edwards Sr., Georgia Pacific, Savannah River Mill. John Malone, Georgia Ports Authority. Colin Owen, St. Joe Candler. Janiqua Ragland, Jenkins Trust Fund. Kate Reynolds, Chatham County. Marty Ward, Georgia Pacific, Savannah River Mill. And lastly, Liz Reeves with the Jenkins Trust Fund. Would you join me in thanking them?
Thank you, Joe, for your leadership. Through the generous donation of prizes, companies add a layer of excitement to the campaign. Thanks to our prize giveaway chair, Mark Danis and Anna Lodging, this year's prizes are bigger and better than ever. 5 vacation packages and round-trip certificates from JetBlue and gift cards for those of you who love to shop. Mark, please join me on stage.
Thank you, Larry. Boy, if you count the amount of times you've heard the words generosity and generous, it really shows you what a great United Way community we have. It's a testament to it, so that's wonderful. So leading up to that and including that, we first of all want to thank our generous sponsors and anonymous donors for providing these gifts. Because of them, we have a lot of prizes to offer. All you need to do qualify for a prize is attend a United Way campaign meeting, complete an entry form, and a name will be drawn weekly until our victory celebration, November 16th. And now, our first prize, and talk about generosity, this gift is a $1,200 Caribbean cruise, courtesy of our great friends and generous sponsors, Sterling Seacrest Partners. Larry, will you please draw the name? Larry. And the winner of the $1,200 Caribbean cruise is Lisa Cathcart. Lisa Cathcart. Congratulations to Lisa, and good luck and thank you for your support. And who knows, maybe your name will be drawn next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You can learn more about the United Way prize giveaway by visiting the United Way's website, uwce.org. That's uwce.org. And before I go on, I failed to mention, it was the cabinet that greeted you as you walked in the door, making all the fun. And I had promised to bring the fun back in fundraising. But I got a shout out to Liberty County, and I don't know where you guys are sitting. No one entered more enthusiastically than you guys, so thank you for that. At the beginning of August, we asked a group of pace setters to run their employee campaigns prior to the start of the kickoff. These companies jumpstart the annual campaign, setting the pace for everyone else. This year, Chief Cherry Enoch with the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System is our pace settership. Terry, please come join me and introduce the distinguished group of pace setters and their kickstart for this year.
How y'all doing? Yeah, some of you here last year, you expect me to act silly, right? Let me tell you something, I'm so excited. You know I get pumped on pace setters. So you're probably wondering, Terry's sporting that really nice Ralph Lauren green jacket. You know there's a backstory to this jacket. So if I share it with you, you gotta keep it here. Can we do that? And not tell anyone, especially my wife. All right, so real quick, because I'm gonna run out of time. All right, so I'm a big Tiger fan, Tiger Woods fan, right? So back in 2005, Tiger won the Masters. So my thing was that if I happen to bump into Tiger, I want to have my green jacket on too. So we can have that conversation. So I went out and I bought I snuck out and I bought the green jacket. And I put it in the back of my closet. And so, my wife was doing some spring cleaning. And so she ran across my green jacket, and she's like, why do you have this green jacket? And so I just found out that I was, going to present again for a pace setter. So I said, well, it's my pace setter's master's jacket. You got to keep that right here now. So I'm like, good. She's like, your pace setters? That sounds like another big whopper, Terry. I'm like, no, really, this is my pace setter's master's jacket. Sound good, right? And so she reluctantly hung it back in the closet. And so this morning I'm getting dressed, and y'all saw me in my nice blue suit and I'm putting it on, and I'm about to walk out the door. And she said, hey, aren't you forgetting something? I got it for you right here. It's your pace setter's master's jacket. And you better wear it. So I got it on today. All right, let me speed up a little bit. So I'm just so excited about pace setters. And so what I've done over the years is I've really studied the behavior of pace setters. The first time that I had an experience with a pace setter was when I ran track. So I got in this 5K race, and I'm out there running, and I said, you know, if I get behind the fastest guy, then I probably will be okay. So I get behind this guy who shoots out like a rabbit, and I'm behind him, and we're going, and we're going, and we're going, and we're about halfway through, and the guy drops off. And he says to me, keep going, Terry. He said, I'm a pace setter. I said, oh my God. And I was out there, and I looked behind me, and the pack was so far behind, and I'm going. But the end of the story, I didn't win the race, but it was one of the best times that I ever logged. You see, pace setters, they start us out. They show us we have the capacity as a community to do anything if we do it together. And so what I did was I made a commitment that today, that if we mimic some of the behaviors of pace setters, we can do so much more. We can have a much broader reach. We can have an extended reach into our community to do more. So here's what I want you to do, and I need classroom participation, okay? So I want you to think about something. Pastor Ricky Temple gets up and he gives this soul-stirring speech. And you're sitting there and the tears are coming down your eyes and you're like, man, I really want to stand up and I want to clap, but nobody wants to stand up first. So you're waiting on that first person, right? Well, that first person is a pace setter. And so what happens is the first person gets up and they're like, and all of a sudden everybody joins, right? So that's a behavior. So here's what I want to do. I want to log this behavior because if we all become pace setters, man, you're like the party starters. You get the party started. So I want you to work with me. I'm going to start out clapping, and then we're all going to just get up. Everybody. That's what I'm talking about. Pace setters rock. And I feel the spirit. I feel the spirit. Sit down, sit down. One more, and I'll be off. One more, I'll be off. Another behavior of a pace setter. Have you ever gone to a party, and man, you hear your favorite song, and you're there like, man, I want to get up, and I want to go out on that dance floor, and I'm going to do my James Brown. But you know what? My wife holds me back. She says, I'm not going anywhere. Some pace setters got to go out there first. And so what happens is, you know, my wife is like a 5 pace setter girl, right? You know, she doesn't go out there until at least 5 pace setters on the floor dancing. And so what happens is, about 5 go out there, and then I get out there and I do my thing, my James Brown thing. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to be the party starters. You are now going to be qualified as official 2018, 2019 pace setters. So here's what we're going to do. Can I get a little music? This is how we do it. All right, everybody, come on, pace setters. Get up, get up, get up. Get up and take it. Oh, yeah. This is how we do it. Oh, yeah. See, you don't have to wait for anybody to get on the dance floor. You're already there. Oh, yeah. Y'all not at the club. I gotta go back to work. What's wrong with y'all? All right, so there's another part of the story. So as I'm walking out of the door, and my wife hands me my pace setter's master's jacket, my son pulls me to the side, and he says, Dad, are you really gonna wear that green jacket? You're gonna embarrass the family. And here's what I told him. I said, son, I not only will wear that green jacket, I'll have the audience standing up giving me a standing ovation and dancing in the aisles. All right, let's get to our Pacesetters. Let's get down to some business. The Pacesetters program is a testament to our higher commitment to invest in the future of our community. The money we raise stays in the community to fund programs that nurture children and youth, they strengthen families, and they develop individual well-being and self-sufficiency. They foster health and wellness. They promote long life independence for seniors and persons with disabilities. They rebuild lives in times of emergencies or disasters and enhance the essential community resources. Our first Pacesetter is GOL Security with $200. Number 2 is Edward Jones, the Ryan Ward Agency with $500. Macy's with $1,500. Renaissance Bank with $2,834. Rizzo and Rizzo CPAs, $2,940. WTLC TV, $13,338. First Chatham Bank, $18,000. Bank South, $19,413. Ameris Bank, $20,033. Zenovis, $21,092. Port City Logistics, $35,290. Shaw Floors, $37,069. Chatham Steel, $41,083. Women United, $42,573. Thompson and Hutton, $42,954. Sterling Seacrest Partners, $44,022. Target, $44,480. Price Auto Group, $46,732. Effingham Board of Education, $86,285. And last, United Way and funded agencies, $111,459, which brings the total for our 2018 Pacesetters campaign to $631,797. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Terry. It's always a journey and a pleasure to watch Terry speak. Please congratulations to all our Pacesetter companies. What a great way to start. And Terry, once again, thank you for your leadership. Now it's time for me to talk some numbers. I'm going to ask the sponsored associates to come up. I'm going to start with the number 3. What Alexander Dumas knew back in 1844, something I learned back in 1973, thanks to Schoolhouse Rock. 3 is a magic number. There's something poetic and powerful about 3. Faith, hope, charity, the past, the present, the future. In the book, the power of the 3 Musketeers comes from Athos, Aramis, and Porthos. For the United Way, our power comes from giving, volunteering, and advocating. All 3 of these must reach equal importance and proportion to create an unstoppable force that allows us all to live united. So, without any more suspense, here's the number you really want me to talk about. All for one, and now, one for all. Our number is, for the United Way campaign goal, $8,133,333. Let's make that our magic number, and let's all get united. Thank you all very much.